All right, this is my hanging handstands, mobility and flow workout. So it's one of two workouts I do every day. This isn't a tutorial. This is just one of my workouts. I'll just share what I do here so you guys can see. My second workout that I do later in the day is for strength and flexibility. So this is my movement workout. And I'm starting, as I always do, with a little bit of a warm-up. And my warm-up is quite different to what most people do. I'll bring this camera here so you can see better, because I've had slap tears in both my shoulders, and so I have to really awaken the rotator cuff and the scapular stabilizers when I do my warm-up. And I like this body blade to get started, but I do different stuff each day, right? I don't always do the same thing, and I think that's a good idea. At least when you've got the exercise repertoire that I have, you play around with different things each day. So anybody that watches these videos regularly, you'll know that I don't always do this body blade, but I'm doing it at the moment. It's very challenging for me because this is a very weak muscle for me. Hanging is so good for your body, especially shoulders and spine, but grip as well. It's really, really good for shoulder flexibility, shoulder strength, grip strength. It's one of the only things that you'll ever do that decompresses the spine. So normally when we stand up, you have gravity is compressing the spine, but when I'm hanging, gravity is decompressing the spine. So now this is for my glutes, and I'm going to do an end range contraction first. Oh wow, I'm getting better at that. That is awesome. That's a big improvement from where I was only a month or two ago. So I'm contracting my external rotators to lift further into external rotation. So it's an end range contraction, and then I follow it up with a loaded stretch, which is my favorite way to develop flexibility, is to do an end range contraction first and then a loaded stretch straight after it. It's not something that I teach necessarily to beginners straight away, because for people that are new to this style of training that I'm doing, it's really different to what people are used to, and there's a lot of concepts to get your head around, and I find it much more effective for people if we just keep it simple at the start. I'll turn this around so I can keep facing the camera. Too much complexity, it just wigs people out, and they can't keep up with what you're doing. Oh, that's a really big improvement. I'm really happy with that. And so, it also depends on what somebody's commitment level is, because if people are committed enough to do 2 training sessions a day like what I do, then we can give more, in the program that they work with. But if they can only do 1 training session a day, then of course we have to do a different style of program. So we still use the same concepts, but with 1 training session a day, it's more focused on just loaded stretching like this and strength training, full range of motion strength training. When you combine those two in the same workout, you get really flexible, because strength through range with full range of motion strength training is an incredible way to develop flexibility, and loaded stretching like what I'm doing here is also a really good way to do it. But you also get really strong at the same time. So it's really beneficial to train like that. And if you want to do this, if you want to see how these programs work, you can do a free trial of the UMS if you go to unitygym.com, and I'll write a program for you, custom program. And if you don't like it, just cancel before the trial's over. You won't pay. Okay, this single arm hang transition, this one's quite tough. So if you don't have much experience with hanging, this will probably be too tough for you. But if you are ready for it and you want to get a little bit of exposure to it, you start by just doing a 3-second hang on each arm. I'm doing a 10-second hang. I'm timing myself down there with a stopwatch that you can't see. So you start with just a 3-second hang. And then the idea is that when you transition like this, when you go to this side, you hang completely passively and you don't move around. So you can see I'm moving as little as possible. That's really important. And then we just bring the arm up, transition over, and come down. Incredible stretch for the lats here. Incredible grip strength. And then really good strength for the lats, for the scapular depression, which is the way that we initiate a pull-up, you know. So you watch this movement here. So this is the way here that we start a pull-up, by depressing the scapula, getting the lats into the movement. So this is really, really good prerequisite for a one-arm pull-up, which is one of my goals this year. So that's why I do this every day, 6 days a week. And what you want to do, you want to try and accumulate a total of, to start with, 90 seconds. So when I started this, I couldn't do 90 seconds in one go. I could only do about 30 or 45 seconds, and that was with a 3-second hold. So I'd have to do 2 or 3 sets. And now I'm at a point where I've already crossed 2 minutes 20 in this one set now. So, you know, this is how adaptation works. You can get really strong if you are consistent with your exercise, and if you do it with the right intention, meaning that you really focus on the correct technique and all of that. I'm about to cross the 3-minute mark, and I'm going to try for a personal record today. I've never done more than 3 minutes 10. I'm feeling pretty good. Alright, that was my personal best. I've already passed it. Oh, I'm going to get 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes 20. Oh, let's see if I can do 5. Woohoo! That was 5 minutes. That's the first time I've ever done more than 3 minutes 10. Oh man, my forearms. So my coach, Roy Gold, set my program for between 90 seconds and 5 minutes. And I've never done more than 3 minutes 10. So that's the first time I ever got the full 5 minutes and in one set. Didn't even have to break it up. So, oh, that is really good. Look at my forearms. Totally jacked from that. Well, that's really cool. I'm really proud of myself for that. That's a massive achievement for me. So you can see how I've gone down to 30 degrees now instead of 45. And now it's really, really hard for me. But that's what end range strength is. It has to be at your end range. And I'm assisting just a little bit with my fingers here. When I'm working really, really hard, it's a lift without my fingers. Let's do one more. Oh, come on. Come on. You know, so much of this stuff, this movement training, this strength, flexibility, calisthenics, it's just repetition. It's just turning up, doing the work, and often you don't see the results for months. Often, like for months, nothing will change. But when you keep doing the work, eventually your body has a breakthrough and you adapt to what you're doing and you become stronger or more flexible or whatever it is that you're working on. And, you know, that's what's so hard for people, of course, because when you put in all this work and you're not seeing results, most people just give up. Come on. Yeah. And it is hard. I'm not saying it's not. It's hard to do. It's hard to have the discipline to just keep going. But, you know, you just decide what kind of a person you want to be and then act like that person if that's what you want. That was one of my biggest problems that I had in my 20s. I wanted to be somebody that I wasn't acting like. And that creates a real disparity between where you are and where you want to be. And there's this huge gap between the two things. And you just feel this constant sense of, well, for me, it was like a sense of failure or a sense of not achieving anything. It's a real heartache, in my opinion. So I find it much easier to do the work and not feel that than to be feeling that all the time. All right, this is the really hard one. Oh, that kills me. Single arm, active and passive hanging. But after my slap test, man, I couldn't do one rep of that. Not a single rep. I had to use assistance for probably 3 years, I'd say. So one arm on the bar and then another arm holding a towel for about 3 years before I could even do one rep like that. And that was 5 reps on each side, and then I did an assisted 6th rep. So I'm working towards 10 reps, and then I can really get stuck into the single arm pull-up training. So this one's for internal rotation of the hip. It's the same principle. It's an end range contraction. And end range contractions only work if you're at your end range, which is really hard. So if I lean at all, then I'm cheating my end range. And when you start with end range contractions, it feels like you're going to cramp. Often you do cramp. That's good. That means you're doing it the right way. All right. Same thing now, except for shoulder external rotation. So these are the areas of my body that need the most work. So when you do your own stretching, it'll be for the areas of your body that need the most work. So the way we do it in the UMS online coaching app, we have like workouts broken up for each movement of the body. So when you want to do like extra flexibility work on top of your regular training program, you'd just choose shoulder external rotation in this case, and then we've got all the progressions there. You know, so you can do the easier progressions first, of course, because what I'm doing, when you watch me do these workouts, you know, as I said at the start of this video, this isn't a tutorial. So, you know, this is my workout, and my workout will look different to your workout. It has to be based on what your level of strength and flexibility is, and also what your body needs, you know, based on your injuries and based on your goals and your limitations. So that's different for everyone. So that's why customized programming is really important, and where you have to really, you know, be careful what you get from watching a video like this, you know. Learn from it, be inspired by it, but you know, it's unlikely that my exact workout is going to be the exact workout that you need. Okay. God, and I lost my balance at the end there. All right, here we go, round one. Let's see what I can pull together today. All right, not bad for my first set. That's my first free handstand in probably about 2 weeks after, because of my surgery. I didn't do any free handstands. And then I just do a pancake and a middle split in between my sets, just a really relaxed set. And I do these 2 stretches because they're 2 muscle groups that I want, 2 positions that I want better flexibility in, a pancake and a middle split. And for me, these are pretty relaxed positions. So right now, when I'm in this position, it's not causing me a lot of strain. I can just relax and let my upper body recover. And then same here when I go out into a middle split. So I can just sit here and chill now, do a few contractions in my glutes and my quadriceps. And so that really helps to increase flexibility, is, just doing a series of 30-second stretches like this, where you're doing some contractions in the, end range contractions in the opposing muscles that you're trying to stretch. It really adds up and helps to teach your nervous system that these are safe positions. And so I'm all about, incidental stretching, just getting some stretching in between sets and wherever I can fit it in. I think it's a really good use of time, because otherwise I've got to rest for 2.5 minutes between sets. So that's just 2.5 minutes of just sitting there doing nothing otherwise. I'd much rather just do some stretching. Okay, round 2. Let's see what I can do. It's all about trying to get rid of the pike in my hips for me. Whenever I watch my videos, I'm always piking in my hips much more than I thought I was when I'm doing the handstand. Damn it. Well, that felt better. I never know until I check the video later, but that felt good. It definitely felt better than the set before. So yeah. Okay, bit of middle splits now. I like to do this sometimes where I just pull my legs out and see how wide I can get them, because that's a use of the glutes that's very specific to middle splits flexibility. Being able to actively open your legs like that. And you see the most flexible people have really good control of their range. They they can do a lot more than just passively go to that range. I'm feeling pretty good about my middle splits at the moment, because I did very little work on them for about 3 years when I started training with Roy Gold. He just didn't program it, and I just followed the program that he gave me. And so I went backwards a little bit, maybe lost 10 or 15% of my middle splits flexibility. And then recently I've started doing it again, but not nearly as intensely as I was before. But, I'm making really good progress, so that's good. Getting back to where I was. Okay, round 3. Come on, Rad. Let's do it. Ah, man, come on. Come on. At my level, it's good to have a wall there so that I can save falling forward if I'm going to fall, because I'm still not that consistent. Oh, come on. Oh man, feeling it. Okay. If I didn't get that set there, that last one that I did, that 10-second hold, if I didn't get that, then I would have just gone up and used the wall. I think a big mistake people make, and that I certainly made in the early days of doing my handstands, is that I'd just kick up and constantly try and do free handstands. And you do it 10 times. You don't hold it for more than 2 seconds each time. And you haven't actually done any time that contributes to you getting better at the handstand, but you've completely fatigued yourself and you have to rest for 2.5 minutes now before you go again. Whereas if you just give it, between 3 to 5 attempts, and if you don't get it on that 3rd or 4th or 5th attempt, depending on how fatigued you feel, then you just go, okay, I'm going to use the wall now, and you use the wall for assistance. And then you can really get some good volume that way. And that absolutely contributes to you getting better at handstands. Volume is king. It's really important to get volume in your training for strength, for flexibility, for skill work. Volume is really, really important. All right, final set of my handstands for today. Come on, let's get a good one. Come on. Really got to focus at this stage in the workout. Come on. No, come on. Oh man, I'm really cooked. I'm gonna have to use the wall. Ah,